Perfect. Cool. Hey, Tatyana Joseph, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. I'm happy you stopped by the Official Black magazine because I want to talk about someone of your age and how you've
Oh,
been able to really social media, like some use TikTok, as
right.
a leverage for not only your brand, but as a business.
Sorry, wait, you cut out on that last part. Say that again.
Oh, as a brand and as a business.
How I've branched using social media as a brand and a business.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'd say, first of all, I don't think a lot of us expected for social media to have such a boosting factor in a lot of our businesses and branding. But essentially, I started off social media because I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to do acting and modeling. And when I started going to auditions, I noticed that followers played a big part in whether or not you would get the role. So basically, once I realized that followers and social media were playing a key aspect in like even the acting field and modeling field, I was like, okay, this is something I need to build up in order to really get there. And then once I started studying it and then studying the trends, trying to see what could come from it was over. I was I was like, yo, I did not know we were doing all this with social
Yeah.
media. So I did a bunch of research, studied all the analytics, the trends, everything. And I was just like, okay, no, there's so much business that can come from this. I just have to find what works for me and literally apply it into my uniqueness and my businesses, and it'll just run and take off by itself.
Nice, I love that. So now that your social media is taking off, especially you're on all the different platforms. Before we get into everything else, I always like to understand
Yeah.
the origin story. How are you able to navigate, especially when people talk about, that something shadow banned and all these things, and this reel needs this audio, and this, how do you do all this stuff where you're just like, look, I'm not about to play this game with you guys. I know the rules, but I'm gonna break them and make them my own.
Right. Well, I will say that shadow banning and all of those things, they have definitely troubled me as well at several points. There was a point, I think for at least 9 months straight, where I was getting banned like every 2 weeks.
Oh,
Like
wow.
it was, I kid you not, I still have all the receipts too. I was, emailing TikTok constantly trying to figure out how I could, I don't know, stop being banned. Because when my content's very PG-13. Most of my year is very PG. I don't, touch on a lot of inappropriate things, but I used to get banned every week. So essentially my way of pushing through all of that was just consistency. I would say the biggest part of all of it, which kind of sounds cliche, but it's an algorithm, it's numbers, it's repetitiveness, it's trends. Like you have to constantly show up in people's eyes and their brains and certain sounds and aspects in order to really create a longevity on social media, if that makes sense. So once I started to notice what trends were popping, what looks were popping, I would just start to brainstorm on how I could make it me and
Yeah.
put a spin on it so people are seeing something different while still enjoying what is trending. Because I don't think trends are bad. I don't think following trends are bad. It's just what people like in the moment. That's why they're always changing. But I don't like doing what everybody's doing.
So it's like I'll be trendy with you only to a certain degree.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm gonna. Are there sometimes do you ever get on and you see everybody's using like an audio or a certain trend or a certain type of like piece of content they're generating?
Yes.
You're looking, you're going like, I'm not doing that, you guys. Like,
Yes, and that's precisely what I did. Whenever big trends would start happening, I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, that's so funny! I'll try to hop on it before I see it." And then if I see 10 in a row of it, I'm like, "Okay, no, no." Maybe if I'd say it was a sound, I don't really deny sounds, but if I notice it's a sound that everyone's dancing on,
yeah.
I would instead do jokes with it, if that makes sense. Like if I notice it's a sound people really like hearing, so they keep posting relatable content to it, I'm gonna make a dance to it. Like it's you do something different with it to bring something different to the table, and people want to taste it. So yeah.
And I think it's really interesting because I know when we met, because you're not 21 yet, right? Or did you have a
I
birthday?
just turned
Okay, I was
21.
about to say you just okay, cool. So you got this like peak before 21. I'm 34, where that's where I'm the MySpace, the Facebook era. Where
Uh-huh.
ours was fun. Our top fans was Tom and stuff, right? And so for us, it was all social. It wasn't a business, So
Right.
with what you're doing, I remember you telling me people really take if you post somebody or share somebody, they get serious. They find them out there. They're letting you know who this person is. Like they're like this is scandal or something.
Yes, literally.
So how do you balance all of that, and how do you make sure that Tatyana really just kind of is able to disconnect at times?
That's a really good question. When it comes to disconnecting, I would say just staying off my phone and grounded with really good friend groups. I
Mhm.
have a really solid family, and my friends bring me back to life all the time. So I think just staying grounded is very key. But I also just don't let people bother me, if that makes sense. My mom is really big on just making sure all throughout life. She never knew I was going to, get into this exactly, but she just, whatever you want to do, what makes you happy, as long as you're being positive and safe and you're not being stupid and making yourself look bad, like you're good,
Yeah.
whatever you want to do. And I've been living that way my entire life, and just, I've always been good. So I don't know. I don't feel like I have a bad energy to give out. So whenever people try to bring negativity to me, it just automatically bounces off me. Like I don't even feel it. But
Are you the
with
queen of
that,
blocking and deleting comments, or are
I
you the
don't,
queen of
I
that?
don't even delete comments, sir. You can say what you want. My fans gonna take care of you. There's been times that people have tried to come for me in my comments, and I could honestly count on maybe two hands how many times over the past 3 years that someone has genuinely tried to be negative in my comments. But anytime it happens, them kids are on them. Like they attack and they go aggressively. They do not play about me. They're super protective of me. And I think it's because they feel like I wouldn't fight my battles either.
Yeah.
But I think they're missing that point that I'm, successful, living on my own, have a bunch of work to do. I'm not worried about, the little minuscule things
Yeah.
like that, but they take care of it for sure. So I really don't have to worry about it.
Nice.
Yeah,
You
but
know, people think they know you. They think they know you because they see your stuff. Sure.
mhm.
You are an influencer, you are a brand. People want to get to know what's in your life, right? But
Right, exactly.
what's one of the misconceptions you fans and people knew about anybody as an influencer because they really think they know you in real life. Like they think you're like a
Mhm.
brand. And then when they get to see, like, when sometimes they get to meet you guys in person, they're like, oh,
Mhm.
really quiet. Are they like, say they're standoffish or boring? I'm like, you
Right.
realize it's one thing to turn on for content, but
Mhm.
that's me 24/7.
Yeah, no, okay, so I'd say I created a really good balance, if that makes sense. So,
Mhm.
because I didn't want to feel like I was projecting something false. I didn't want to feel like I was being fake. And I also did not want to share every single minuscule detail of my life. But I really found a balance in between. Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good.
They're in there, just straight across. Yeah, sure. I think one thing that I found a way to balance is just I share what I genuinely feel like I'm good to share. And then I also am never really doing a bunch of stuff I'm not supposed to be doing. So I never get worried about, getting caught up in public or being weird, someone coming up to me. I always make sure to let them know, like, you guys can run up to me, you guys can hug me, like scream for me across the street, whatever. I make it a very open environment on purpose. The
Mhm.
only thing I don't share with them is like who I'm dating. And it's really just that, because I really pride myself on the fact that they feel so close to me. And I
Yeah.
do think it's because I actually do share a lot. They don't know everything about me for sure, but I share a lot, and I'm very open with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they're close. I
Yeah.
feel like they know a lot.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, but
and you
I'd say
can't
the
share
only
who
thing
you're
I don't.
dating with them. And
Sorry, say that again.
I said you can't share who you're dating with because they're like friends. If you go through something or if you break up and you make up
Exactly.
and then they choose sides and they're like, oh no, we were Team Tati. And you're like, no, but we good now because that's what happens in relationships. Sometimes it's ebbs
Yeah,
and flows. And then
and that's the other thing. Like, I do believe it's very easy for the audience to be out of touch with reality with their influencers, and they forget that we are normal human beings also looking for our future husband,
yeah.
and whoever we date in between, we're trying to figure it out. But I kind of became a little less showy of my relationships because of how they would react with the men on my pages. I don't know if you remember me telling you about that. They're obsessive. Like they
Yeah.
love seeing who's in my love life. And once I realized how much they love it, I was like, oh, that's so cute. And then I was like, oh wait, this is kind of unhealthy because I don't. This is weird. So I had to slow down on that aspect and just keep it cool. But other than that, I really share whatever I'm doing. If I'm at the gym, if I'm at the store, I'll go live when I'm like grocery shopping for underwear. I'll go live. I'll be like, yep, we're at Target and I need boxer briefs. So we're gonna go get boxer briefs. So yeah.
It's funny you talk about how like people get obsessive. Me and my husband, we've been together for 10 years and married for
Mm-hmm.
8. You met him,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody
Yeah.
used to post a lot early. People would be like, oh man, then if I didn't post, where's he at? I'm like, okay, this is really strange.
Yeah.
I do not want to be your poster for Black gay love. I'm not trying to be, that's not what
Yeah,
I'm
I can
trying
already
to
see
do.
that being way more dramatic for you for sure. Because people really do look for that representation. And I love it. I love that they're looking for it, but you got to let me find it. You got to let me secure it. And then we could talk about it. You can't, pressure me to
Yeah.
tell you who I went on a first date with. Like, why would I tell you who I went on one date with? Why would I do that?
Why would I do that?
If someone's been talking to me a month, why would I tell you guys about that? I've known you guys for 3 years and you want me to tell you about someone I met a month ago? No. So yeah.
I don't do that to my real friends.
Yeah, and I also have some fan pages. In the beginning there was two main groups of fan pages, and I'm very close with them now because they were my OGs, like my biggest supporters from like year one. And we're all in these big group chats, and every once in a while, I'd say every other week or so, they just text me and they're like, "Hey, what's the updates?" They know a little bit more than the masses, but that's because I've known them for a while personally, and I just kind of give them the little key tea moments to keep them intrigued, if that makes sense. And then I kind of base things sometimes off of how they react to it to determine whether or not I genuinely want to share it with the public.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just go, it's kind of like a testing audience, if that makes sense. So I'll share things with them that might be a little, juicy, a little crazy, and see how they react. And then I'm like, all right, you guys are doing too much. Not posting this. This is just for you.
Yeah. Speaking of fan pages, how is that where people like, how was your first experience seeing someone like you don't know create a fan page and then another one pops up and now you guys are in like this chat,
I
what
loved it.
is the whole type of like experience with that?
The experience with it, it's very interesting, to be honest. I've never been someone to like I would never had a boy band phase, if that makes sense. Like I never had that moment where I was like super into one individual that I've never met before. So I didn't get it at first. And then for some reason I started to get these mass DM responses from a bunch of random young Black girls, and I just started reading them, and they were all just these really inspirational paragraphs of how for some reason me doing content for the past year has like saved them, and they feel more confident, they feel more beautiful, they feel like they've made more friends. There was like this one time this girl told me I like saved her from killing herself. I was like, are you serious? Wow. And I just decided, instead of questioning how people feel about me, I will just choose to embrace it or not, and then be that light for them if they want me to be. Instead of trying to figure out why they want me to be, I'll just like, hey, if you see that beacon of light in me, then I'm just going to keep doing what I do on a normal basis, because for some reason it's doing something for you. And it used to just be mass DMs of people saying little things like that every day. And that's what kept me going in the beginning, for real, actually, because I didn't have a lot of followers in the beginning. So seeing all those DMs every day of the little girls talking to me, some moms too, moms would DM me and be like, oh my gosh, my daughter watches you and you're just such a good role model. I'm so glad that she's actually following someone who's decent, da da da. And I would be like, yo, I'm literally posting my hair routine. Like, I don't understand how this is touching you guys so much. But they tell me it's my words and my actions and my moments with them on live. And I'm just like, this has so much more power if we wanted to have more power. So let's give it power and just make it light, if that makes sense. So that was really, I'd honestly say that was a big motivating factor of keeping everything on my socials positive, keeping it confident. Like, I'm not on a, you don't need a man type thing, but just live your life, glow and love, and be unapologetically happy and loving. Like, there's so many things you could do, and they take it from me now. So it's really, really sweet.
Nice. I love that. Now, going back to, you started this because you wanted to make sure you had leverage to be an actress, right? Where did that come from? That desire to be an actress and model?
Oh, birth. That came from birth. I had I don't know, I always had that inkling. I always had that wanting to do movies, wanting to do shows. I really liked working with people. I was a huge people person growing up. Like even as a kid falls down on the playground. I'm trying to figure out where the teacher's at, where the bandage is at. I don't even know what a band-aid is. I'm trying to figure something else. I always wanted to be a part of people and like work with people and travel and like do fun stuff. And then I started getting asked to be in these little plays in school. And I was like, a play? I am a sports star. You think the soccer players want to be in a play? What,
Yeah.
Miss Beatrix? Like whatever her name was, I don't know. But she pressed me about it basically. And when I ended up doing it, she just told me that I literally could do it for forever if I wanted to. Like you already have it, just hone in on it, practice it, this and this. And then after that, I went through these stages of getting bullied, and then I'm a military brat, so I used to move every 9 months, and I moved from her quickly. It's just I had to grow up first, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I really do. I don't know how to explain it. I'd say it was definitely a dream that I knew I could make a reality, but I didn't have it in myself yet to make it my reality.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't that I didn't believe in myself, but I definitely didn't have what it took yet. And then I didn't start going through my self-love journey, my confidence journey until about freshman year of high school. There was a lot of bad years that I had where I wouldn't even look at my reflection in the mirror. Like I swore that I was just like this creature in it. I don't know. I did grow up in a lot of predominantly not me areas. So maybe that could have, played into it. But it wasn't until high school I started saying, like, I'm tired of hating myself. I'm tired of hating my reflection. I'm tired of feeling insecure everywhere I go. And I just started forcing myself to do anything and everything possible to just over time gradually make that better.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually it did. And then once I got that confidence, I'd say it was around my senior year that I really like felt it hone in my freshman year of college. By that time, I was like, no, this is your life. This is your dream. Life is getting serious. You could either go to college and waste your money or pursue your dream now and try it again later. Like, what are you going to do? Yeah. And I kept seeing these motivational freaking YouTube videos. It was so weird. It was like a year straight of motivational YouTube videos just randomly popping up. And they'd be like, do you want to work at a job you don't like your whole life? And I'd just be like, okay, well, shoot, you're right. You got one life, got to go for it. Yeah. So I just started going to, behind the scenes stuff. I started being an extra. I started doing commercial. I started even if I could just do a little bit of camera behind the scenes to, network a little bit, like anything I can get my hands on, I was throwing myself into. And don't tell my parents this, but totally didn't go to class. Like once I decided to pursue seriously in college, I told my professors one week, each of them, I was like, listen, I'm going to be an actress. So I'm not going to see you anymore this semester. And they were just like, you're going to like fail, right? And I was like, yeah, all right, talk to you later. And it was literally that. Like once I made peace with that decision, I just knew it was right. And I knew what I was doing was right. And I don't want to say, COVID was a blessing, because obviously a lot of people felt a lot of pain from that experience. But that whole year-long break is what allowed me to pursue everything I wanted to put my hands on. Yeah. So that whole opening, I don't know, that was it.
Nice. I love that. I love that your story in the beginning really came from, having dark periods, which really reflects why you maybe didn't even intentionally understand that you were going to be a beacon of light for other people, And
Yeah.
Speaking of that, when it came to young women, especially Black women like yourself, why is it so important that now you really help show not only a positive role model for them up and coming, but create content and live a lifestyle where they can go, you know what, she definitely was right. Oh dang, she definitely is making me want to untangle my hair with organic coconut oil from Aruba or something, you know what I mean? Like, why? What is that? Where how does that feel for you?
It feels amazing to feel like I have the power to inspire people at that level, first of all. So that's wonderful. But to the main question, we know representation is huge, like ginormous. And I do think a big part of my upbringing, like I said, was, growing up in places with people that don't look at me like at all. They don't look like me. There was a point where I lived in Florida and all the kids used to just bully me. Like it was just so odd. I felt so out of place all the time. And I remember the first time I saw someone with curly hair, just simple, simple as curly hair, was when I watched High School Musical, and it was freaking Corbin Blue. Like, I was like, that sounds so nuts. But it's like that is how much of a lack of representation we really used to have. So I think that it's so key and so important for everyone of all cultures, all nations, everything to have that representation that we see every day, because faces are everywhere,
Yeah.
people are everywhere. There's so much to be said and learned and seen like in the world and stuff, and it's just with us specifically,
Yeah.
we need someone that's actually going to guide us in a place of peace, like in a place of you don't have to do it because you have to make it out. You know what I mean? You don't have to do it because you, how do I word this? You can just be happy and peaceful and pursuing whatever makes your mind and soul happy and be good in life. You don't have to go about things a certain way. You don't have to take certain jobs. You don't have to date certain people. Like literally waking up every day and existing is wonderful, if that makes sense. And then I feel like people are always, especially our girls, to say the least, like I feel like it's very easy for us to get caught in negative headspaces
Mm-hmm.
so often. And I've taught so many of my girls out of that, all of my fan pages out of that. In the beginning of when I first started, there used to be points where people would try to bully me, and their anger that they would feel would be more than mine. And I'm like, how do you guys let other people's emotions deter you so much? Like, I promise you, they do not have power. We all sitting here in this group chat and you worried about girl, like it's just little stuff like that could bring you could bring so much like smaller moments of peace to your life to make everything chill, if that makes sense.
No,
And I
definitely.
feel like they sense that for me too, because whenever I go live and there's drama going on, I will sit there and do my hair and not look at the comments. I'll look at the comments just like this and ignore the negative comments. I'll be like, oh, your hair looks, thank you. What are you guys doing today? And and once they see me ignore it on a daily basis, I think that literally is what helps them see like you can only give power to people who you give power to. Like that's it.
Nice.
It. So
I
yeah, that's
love,
one. But
no, I
representation
love that.
is huge. I want to show them that they can do whatever. I want to show them if they want to do social media, they can do it. They want to do acting, they can do it. I'm a military brat that came from immigrant parent and a poverty parent. Like they made it out the woods for
Yeah.
me. And a
Nice.
lot of times, especially with island girls, like their families, they expect them to do doctor. They expect them to like, we moved you to this country for better opportunities. Go do something better.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I was just like, we can do something better without it being 5 years of schooling. Like we could do anything and make it happy. We can make money. We could open businesses.
Yeah.
Whatever y'all want to do, let's figure it out. And we figure it out together. Because at the end of the day, we only get one life. And shoot, the way this climate change is looking, we might only get 20 more years. So
I
you better
love
be doing
that.
like what makes you happy and just live it. Oh my
No.
gosh. And also, huge thing I stress. Oh my, let them boys go. Do not, I am so big on do not try to like I know love is love and young love is young love. I get it. But Jesus, if someone's gonna help y'all get through them little breakup moments, it is gonna be me. Because I know throughout high school, throughout middle school, oh my gosh, I have this one baby, this baby girl. She's like 10. She be telling me the stuff her and her friends are doing. I'm like, y'all need guidance, but it's beautiful. There's so many things to touch on, and it's all fun at the end of the day. Like they know it's all love, and they know if they could talk, if they need to talk to me, they really can. Like I'm always in my DMs, so yeah.
Nice. No, I love that. Look, I have 6 minutes left because I like to be conscious of your time.
Mhm.
So it's not a rush, but I always, you're busy, so I want to get let you get back to
No,
your
of course, yeah. They're in there testing drink flavors, so you're good.
thank you. We've talked about your origin story. We talked about how you handle social media, different things. And you've given a lot of the gems that people can learn from, not only about who you are, but how to navigate social media better. What advice do you give to those people who see you and others, right? And they know social media can be a huge driver for their business, personal brand, everything. And so they're diving deep in it, and they're like, I want to be this on social media. What's some advice you would give to somebody before embarking on this journey to say, I want social media to be a driver for either my brand or my business,
Mhm.
because it is about the consistency. It is about the pitfalls that come with the shadow
Right.
banning, understanding trends, being, everything that goes with it. So what would you say are some of your do's and don'ts for those who
Oh,
say, I'm gonna be just like her?
I tell the kids all the time, stop saying that. I tell it all the time. Whenever I get those comments, I get comments often that say like, I want to be as beautiful as you are when you grow up. And I'm like, baby, you will be beautiful as all get out when you grow up. Per period, not as you are. Just
Yeah.
leave it at that, love. But no, I'd say the biggest do's and don'ts. What would I say the biggest do's and don'ts are? Do be completely 100% yourself. I've noticed it's very easy for people to try to be something else. And then once they start taking off, they don't know how to continue being that something else. And then when they try to revert to something else, other than that, people no longer want to be a part of it because it's not what you originally advertised. So whatever you plan on embarking, stick to it, find creative ways to go around it, about it, but keep the main idea, if that makes sense. Because if you're, especially if you're promoting a business, if you start off with a hair care line and then all of a sudden you're doing like nail polish, that's a completely different audience. Yeah. If you start off being someone who's super negative and makes negative jokes, but it's like people think you're funny, and then all of a sudden you're being a preacher, no one wants to hear you preach. People are there for your negative jokes. So you have to go in with whatever energy you're planning on carrying out throughout it in order for it to create some type of easier consistency. And the reason that I always tell people like be 100% yourself is because that's the only way that an audience is going to be able to grow with you. Because you're going to change, you're going to grow, you're going to, do some things a little weird over time. But if you create people that connect to you genuinely, they're going to want to see you grow, see you change, what products you come out with. Like anything you do, once you create a good base, people are going to want to support you if you've been real with them.
Yeah.
So that's super, super key. Consistency, like I said, huge. At least posting one time a day on almost all social media. Like I'd say, I know that's a lot. I know some people here it's like 10 times a day. So they I know it's crazy, but at least one time on your Instagram story, like twice a week on your Instagram, regular, one time a day on TikTok is what is going to boom you though. And I don't think people actually, no, I do think people realize that. They know it's one viral video that can completely set a business abroad. Like that's totally all it takes. Then after that, you just have to either find someone to help you put the words together, or you have to sit there and try to find a way to just create a simple message that is entertaining with any products that you actually come out with. And that's something that I focus on a lot. I'm like, okay, this is the product, this is the main idea. How do I make this fun? And then show them what it could do. Nice. And then that's the basis of product line. But if you're trying to advertise yourself, if you're trying to be, a hair girl, makeup girl, fashion girl, you have to just be everything that you are. Show them who you are individually, show them what makes you unique, your personality a little bit. And then that's what's going to make people latch onto you versus just see you and be like, oh, okay, cute. And then keep moving.
Nice.
So, yeah.
No, I love that. Is there, before we go, is there a moment in your time on social media that you've done something you're like, why'd I do that? Why'd I do that? Why'd I do that? Oh my gosh, I really delete, archive.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm trying to think. There was. Do I really regret that? I don't think I have one for real. I think there was this like, I don't know, like something that made me really think like I think any of my embarrassing moments, I've probably just posted them anyway so we can all laugh at them. So,
see, that's what makes you special, that you share those embarrassing moments. Like,
there was one time filming a TikTok and my wig came off. Like I posted it. I was like, I mean, sure, it happened. Like it's funny sometimes.
Oh, that is hilarious.
I was on live. I've been on live once where my friends came in very vulgarly, loud, and just saying things they should have said. And it's the lives. That's what it is. So my lives, those are things that I'll quickly end. I'm like, all right. There's just too much going on. Mom's about to say something weird. We need to go. So that's about it though. I don't get embarrassed easily. I have to be doing something really silly to get embarrassed.
Nice. Well, before we go, if you can go back in time and give young Tati I said Tati, like, that's the nickname that everybody call you now.
It actually is now.
Oh, it is? Good. It just seems like it flows.
Yeah, exactly.
If you give young Tati some advice, what age would you want to give yourself, and
Mm.
what advice would you want to give it at?
Mm. Honestly, I say there's a lot to my friends and family, but I don't think there's a lot that I would genuinely change about how this all came together. I really believe divine timing. I believe like God put it all together for us. I believe the universe is looking out for me. And there's not even with this experience right now, right here, there's so many little aspects I look back and reflect on, and I'm just like, if I hadn't done that one thing 4 years ago that made me do that other thing a year later, like I wouldn't be doing this right here. And I think there's so many things that play into that. Dang, I would say age wise, maybe around 13, 14. I would probably just tell her, bro, you got this. Like I would just tell her, you got it. Like I wouldn't tell you go do this, go try this, nothing. Every single thing that put me together just like this. And I would just tell her like, you got it. And she'd probably be looking up at me like, no, I don't. Are you kidding me? Like I kid you not. I was freaking out about college since fifth grade. I was crying about it. I was in advanced classes, AP. I was, taking all my medicine to make sure my grades were good because I had ADHD. Like I was on top of it. Yeah, I would just tell her, baby, relax. You got it. And that was all I would say. That's probably all I'd say. The anxiety I had when I was a kid, if someone was able to relieve that, I would have been good. But
That's it. Well, shoot, man. Well, look, thank you so much. I've had a good time, and I always want to make sure the other person's had a good time through this conversation as well, too.
yes, sir. We good.
Thank you. Okay, perfect.